Sup? Happy Sunday. Good morning. How's everybody doing? It's Greggatron, and I hope you like my shirt. Yeah! It says loyalty. I got this shirt from a gym that was moving and going out of business, and he was selling some merch. So I was like, cool. Loyalty. Speaking of loyalty, I'm loyal to all my people. And speaking of my people, this video is for the ladies. Shout out to the ladies. I love all the ladies. I cherish the ladies. And I have to say this because I have friends who will sometimes say, Greg, I think you hate women. I'm like, why do you think that? Because, Greg, just the stuff you be saying, man. Just the way you talk about them, I think you don't love women. I'm like, that's not true at all. So that's why I say this. Shout out to the women. I love them. Okay. Now that I got that out the way, this video is about tattoos. Women with tattoos. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. It keeps on coming up in different channels I go to. And I gotta put this out there because let the truth be told. So, I guess I'll start with this. I have a friend who also has a YouTube channel. Shout out to Terry Strange. We love Terry. If anybody loves Terry, we do. Meaning yours truly. So, Terry has a couple tattoos, like one on her arm, one on the other arm, and I think one on the shoulder. And that's what kind of sparked this conversation, even though I've been meaning to talk about it. So, if you don't know, Terry Strange, I call her Snow White, because she has white skin. She's like as white as these paper towels. She's like as white as the letters on my shirt. So when I see someone that white with these black tattoos, I'm like, why would you want to destroy your I'm like, why would you want to destroy your beautiful white skin? And I call her Snow White, right? Well, speaking of that, I have some friends growing up who, when we were teenagers, they still live with their parents, but their grandma lived with them and their great-grandma. So they all lived in this big house. It was a big house. And I remember the older my friends got, we're the same age, the older they got, they were starting to get into tattoos, and they're black. But I remember one of the grandmas even saying back then, in the mid to, the 2010s, I remember one of the grandmas saying, why would you want to destroy your beautiful skin? And that kind of stuck with me. But I totally agree with that sentiment or that question. I'm like, black people got good skin. You see, I got good skin, right? So it's one thing when we destroy our skin, but white people who are like Terry, y'all got good skin too. She has Snow White skin. So why would either want to destroy their beautiful black or white skin? Especially the women, because this video is about the women. But when I was growing up, I thought tattoos were for like construction workers, bike riders, as in motorcycle, mechanics, barbers, the NBA players, NFL players, military men, truck drivers, even like firefighter type of people. I thought they were the ones who had the tattoos, like some barbers. Did I mention barbers? Cops. You know what I mean? Law enforcement people. I thought the tattoos were for, entertainers, like the rappers, the game. He had all kind of tattoos. Because I thought it was like a cultural thing. But furthermore, it was like a manly thing. It was a manly man thing. And not all of the men had tattoos, but when I was growing up, a lot of my friends' dads didn't necessarily have them. But when we went to the barber shop, or if you were around anybody from the military, they all had them. But it was kind of like normal. Like when I had customers, when I sold parts, a lot of the mechanics and a lot of those guys, they had tattoos. But they were all men for the most part. Well, then fast forward, the women, they get noticed this like, if they can do it, we can do it. So I see all these women getting all these tattoos. I see like teachers with tattoos, school teachers, like elementary school, teachers who teach the little kids. They got them now. Librarians be having them. Nurses. I'm like, wow, why would a nurse? It doesn't even look right on a nurse or a teacher or like an accountant or something. Like a lady at the back of the desk who does payroll. I'm like, but let me say this. Some women can rock tattoos. Some women can't. I'll get on that in a little bit. Now, I think what tattoos do to a woman, I think it destroys her natural beauty. Because I think women are beautiful. So if there's any woman at home who's listening and you think you're not beautiful, Greggatron thinks women are beautiful. Y'all's hair, the way y'all walk and talk, and the way y'all move and smell. I think women are really beautiful. So it's like, why would you go out of your way to enhance something that doesn't necessarily need enhancement? That's the difference between men and women. Because some people might say, well, Greg, the men, they get to do it. So what's the problem with women doing it? You're missing the point. The point is, men are not beautiful. Men look like me. They're hard, and they're hairy, and they stink. But women are soft and delicate, and they're really pretty. And they're beautiful. That's the key word, beautiful. So why would a woman want to pay money to look like a man, essentially? Again, when I think of tattoos, I think of like a construction worker. Like somebody with a jackhammer all day. Somebody laying concrete. A builder. But when the women who are soft and feminine and nice, when they're getting tattoos, it's like, why would you try to look like us? Like a J.R. Smith or an Allen. That's not pretty. You don't want to look like Allen Iverson. And he did have cornrows. But clearly he was a man. But ladies, why would you want to look like a J.R. Smith or an Allen Iverson? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And another thing, if I take her clothes off and I see a bunch of crazy tattoos, I'm going to be like, what the? I've seen women who have these tramp stamps. And if a woman has a tramp stamp, I think she's a freak, like by default. So like if a woman reaches down to pick something up and her shirt comes up and you see that stuff, you're like, yeah, she's a freak. Because she got that when she was wild. She got that in her wild days. So it's an expression of her freakiness. It's like when I see a woman with a tongue piercing, I'm like, girl, come on now. Come on. Stop it. What you got that in your mouth for? What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, here's the argument the rebuttal is, well, Greg, they're not doing it for the men, they're doing it for them. Alright. Again, why would you want to alter something that's already perfect or beautiful? You know what I mean? Why would you want to tamper with? Because I think the body is a temple of God. You know, when I say a temple, like a pyramid. So why would you want to go out of your way to... And there's so many counter arguments to this, like, well, you go to the gym, don't you? You're changing your body all the time. But that's not the same thing, but let's move on. Also, when I was a kid, a lot of my friends' moms and dads, they didn't really have tattoos that I remember. If they did, they were hidden, I think. My parents didn't have them. My grandparents that I know of didn't have them. My aunts and uncles, and a lot of my family did go to the military. They didn't have them. 30 years later, 20 years later, it's like now everybody has tattoos. Young men, young women, everybody. So I'm like, wow. How did that culture shift that way? And there's ladies who go crazy with tattoos. And I'm not talking about when she just has a little cherry on her ankle. I'm talking about, let me tell you something. I used to work for a parts store, and we had a customer come in, white lady, and her skin was fairly white, like white. She had a butterfly tattoo on her face, like Mike Tyson, but it was a butterfly. And the butterfly was like green and pink and blue, and it was like faded. It looked nice, but it was in the wrong place. Anyway, me and my boss, we're having a conversation with her. After she leaves, well, let me say this first. We're talking to her. She had the nerve to tell us, oh, I can't get a job right now because of this economy. This economy is terrible. The economy? So after she leaves, me and my coworker, my boss, we just look at each other like, did this bee just say she can't get a job because of the economy? Like, female dog, you have a butterfly on your face that takes up half your face. Oh yeah, and like gang members used to have tattoos too. Like teardrops and all kind of stuff. So I'm like, when I see the butterfly and that type of stuff on the face, that's like too far. That's extreme. You got something going on when you do all that. However, on the flip side of that coin, I've seen some ladies with some really nice tattoos. And women can have tattoos if it fits. When it fits their personality, I'm okay with it. I'm just against it, I guess you could say, if they do it just to do it. Like the butterfly thing. But let me give you an example. I was at a grocery store and the cashier had a tattoo of... It was like the line with the thing from the hospital that goes beep, beep, beep. You know, the heartbeat. It was that... And then it had the date underneath it of one of her family members had passed away. I think it was her child or something like that. And it might have said R.I.P. So it had the line, the squiggly, and then at the end it said the person's name, I think, and the date, something like that. So I was asking her about it, and she explained it to me. I was like, huh, that's interesting. So there was meaning behind that. So it kind of made sense because it fit her personality. It was right up her alley. I know another lady who she works construction, And when you talk to her, she's just cool ass people, down to earth, nitty gritty. But she has a whole sleeve, right? And her sleeve actually fits her personality because of how she talks and how she acts. She's not like vulgar or nasty, but she's like tough as nails. So when you see someone like her with tattoos, you're like, oh, she's a laborer. It makes sense because it suits her, right? I'm just against the tattoos on women when they're like out of control. But at the same time, I'm against them having it because it could tarnish their beautiful bodies. So that's the point of this video. There's two things. On one hand, it can destroy their natural beauty. On the other hand, it could enhance their beauty if it suits and fits their personality. Now, I already know the backlash. I already know what you guys are going to say. Greg, we're not getting these tattoos for you. Why don't you just stay where you are and don't worry about us having tattoos? Why don't you just mind your business, Greg? Yeah. I heard it all. Maybe I don't want to mind my business. Maybe I want to get into y'all's business. But someone has to put an opinion out there that y'all ain't used to hearing. Because I might say something that clicks. Ooh, here's another tattoo story. So my sister, I'm not going to say her name because I can't dox her, but she has a tattoo that actually suits who she is. Like, she has a name, but I won't say it. But she has a tattoo of a character who's a cartoon character, and that character has the same name she has. So when we were growing up, he would say, your name is such and such. Oh, you mean like from so-and-so? TV show / movie? And she'd be like, yeah, it's like so-and-so from this show. And they'd be like, oh, cool. Well, it kind of worked out because this character is like one of her favorite cartoon characters or whatever. So she just stuck with it. It's kind of like if I were to have a tattoo, it might be Megatron because Megatron sounds like Greggatron. And that's my favorite, one of my favorite villains. Kind of like that, but she's got it like smack dab on her. But it suits her personality. Yeah. Ooh, and another thing. When I see a woman with tattoos, like way up here and on her chest, it's like looks like graffiti at that point. Like you might have been into some hood stuff when you were in your younger days. Because you gotta think, this might be the mother of your children someday. I don't think I would want my wife to have all that ink, all that stuff on her. But anyway, that's just me. So is it right or wrong to have tattoos as a woman? It's not right or wrong necessarily. I'm just saying, make it make sense, ladies. Like, if you're already beautiful, see, y'all, just think about this. Makeup you can put on and take off to alter your beauty. You can dye your hair red and then blonde the next week and then put some blue highlights in there the week after. Those things you can alter. But once you get a tattoo, it's on there for good. Do you really need to alter your body to be... And then the argument is, well, we're not doing it to be more beautiful. We're just doing it because it's something we want to do. Whatever. It might not have anything to do with them being beautiful or not beautiful. It could be a psychological thing. It could be like, them just want to be empowered. There could be feminism behind this for all I know. But this video is long enough. Again, on one hand, it can destroy your natural beauty. On the other hand, it could enhance the beauty if done correctly. Alright, that's enough of that. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching, and peace.